Hello, I am Sam the Statman, coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to be ranking every player from the 1939 Hall of Fame class from worst to best. This is a thing I do quite often on the channel. I'll rank players from different Hall of Fame classes from worst to best. And before we start this video, I'd just like to say a few things. Well, sort of one thing, sort of two things. It's like two things into one thing. I don't know. I'll just say it. So, in this year, the Old Timers Committee was invented. I will not be counting any of the players who were elected on the Old Timers Committee. I will only be counting players who were elected by the writers, the baseball writers. So I'd just like to give an honorable mention to all the players who were elected on the Old Timers Committee or other committees, during all of the committees that have that have elected players. I will not be including any of those players on any of these videos. Maybe someday I'll do the top 10. I'll do the top 10 committee elected players of all time. But for now, we're just not gonna talk about them. And so Lou Gehrig, I will be including him on this list because while it was a special election he was elected on, it was by the baseball writers. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Number 4, the worst player from the 1939 Hall of Fame class, in my opinion, and also, in my opinion, probably the worst player I've talked about so far in all of these Hall of Fame ranking videos. It's Willie Keeler. Now, just because Willie Keeler is the worst player I've talked about so far does not mean he was a bad player. He was very good. In his career, he batted .341, .388, .415 with a .127 OPS+. He had 2,932 hits, 33 homers, stole 495 bases, and had 54.3 WAR. He also won 2 batting titles. He was also known for his famous catchphrase, "Hit 'em where they ain't," which basically meant hit the ball where the fielders aren't. It seems like just such a simple thing and so obvious, but it works. I used to employ that tactic when I played Little League Baseball, so sort of, my grandpa used to tell me about how Willie Keeler had that catchphrase, and I sometimes used to use that, so it's just a bit of a cool thing. But, yeah, a good player, but the worst one I've talked about so far. Number 3, edging out Willie Keeler by just a bit for the number 3 spot, is George Sisler. Like Willie Keeler, he was a fantastic player, but one of the worst I have talked about so far in these Hall of Fame videos. In his career, he batted .340, .397, .379, actually not .397, .379, .468 with a .125 OPS+. He had 2,812 hits, 102 homers, and he stole 375 bases and had 56.4 WAR. He won an MVP and 2 batting titles. He is a bit overrated because of his high batting average, and I once saw something that sort of proves he's overrated, I guess you could say. One time somebody said he was as good as Stan Musial. And look at their stats, Stan Musial is much better. I'm not just saying that because I'm a huge Cardinals fan. You guys probably agree with me that Stan Musial is much better than George Sisler, but that's not to say George Sisler is a bad player. Number 2, and the first player on this list to really be a bona fide legend, a top 20, top 30 player in all of baseball history, maybe even top 10 or top 15, you could say this guy is Eddie Collins. Eddie Collins was just fantastic. In his career, he batted .333, .424, .429 with a .141 OPS+, and 3,315 hits. He had 47 homers, stole 741 bases, and had 123.9 WAR, and he won an MVP in his career. Like I said, first player in this list to really be a bona fide legend, but he's not my number 1. My number 1 is Lou Gehrig. Right from the start, when I said Lou Gehrig will be on this list, was there really any doubt that he would be my number 1? In his amazing career, he batted an amazing. These stats are just inhuman. They're amazing. .340, .447, .632 with a .179 OPS+. He had 2,721 hits, 493 homers, and 114.1 WAR. He won 2 MVPs, made it to 7 All-Star games, won a batting title, and a Triple Crown. Wow, those stats are amazing. There are a few reasons I put him ahead of Eddie Collins on this list. Number one, it's a bit of a small reason. It's because Eddie Collins is not the best second baseman of all time. That award would have to go to, in my opinion, Rogers Hornsby. And Lou Gehrig is the best first baseman of all time, in my opinion. But that's a bit of a smaller reason, just because he's the best at his position. But that's not really the reason I put him ahead of him. The real reason, the biggest reason, is that, of course, Lou Gehrig's disease. Lou Gehrig got sick. I'm not sure what the actual disease was. People call it Lou Gehrig's disease. But he got sick, and it really hurt his playing career. He had to stop playing, and he died in 1941. It just affected him so horribly. And without Lou Gehrig's disease, he probably would have ended up with better stats than Eddie Collins. And that is why I put Lou Gehrig as number one on this list. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more of these types of videos in the future. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!